G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good stories, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie. Let's get right into it. Cheers. Posted by user Specific Koala 1721, titled, Am I the asshole for wanting my husband to hold my hand during birth? I, 35 female, am 7 months pregnant. I'm married to a family medical doctor, 35 male, and we've been together for 10 years. Throwaway Reddit because my sister-in-law follows me on Reddit and reports everything to my husband. I'm reaching out to all of you to ask your advice on a fight that my husband and I are having on our birth plan. My husband really wants to deliver the baby, which I can kind of understand. It's not uncommon for doctors to deliver their own kid. There is still an OBGYN there monitoring everything, and the doctor father steps in at the last minute as mum is crowning to just catch the baby. My husband has, I guess, always dreamed of being the one to pull the baby out, while I pictured it very differently. I thought he would be up by my head, holding my hand and helping me through it. He says he will do that, but the easiest part is the very end where I don't need him anyway. He said if I really want someone there, his mum can step in. I've been on my own since I was a kid living in my car, so I don't have anyone that I'd want in there with me except for him. I don't really even want his mum in there. She's great, but he is my person. I know it would be cool for him to deliver our baby, but I really feel like I need him there. I personally didn't want our doctors to know that he was a doctor, because as soon as any of my doctors, or even our vet, finds out he's a doctor, they talk exclusively to him. I don't even want him to go to the prenatal appointments anymore because no one talks to me. They all talk to him, and I can't ask my questions to anyone but my husband at home. But he's already told everyone that he'll be delivering his first baby. I guess I don't want this because I wanted him to be there as a husband and a father and not a doctor. I see him as a doctor 95% of the time, and I wanted to experience this with my husband, not my husband the doctor. I wanted him to be there for me as this is my first birth and I am terrified. He just keeps telling me that I'll be fine. He pulled in friends and family who also don't understand my point of view. They said this is his first child too, and to just let him have this since I had the honor of being pregnant. The honor of being pregnant is crazy. What are they saying? Yeah, sorry, you're not human. You just had the honor of being the birth giver for this child. You just got the honor of being his partner. Excuse me? I just really wanted him to hold my hand all the way through it and to be able to share this experience as parents and people instead of a medical professional. I was hoping that we could see the baby at the same time and just be equals in this. Am I being selfish for wanting this to be my way? In the comments, someone says, he pulled in friends and family who also don't understand my POV. They said that this is his first child too, and to just let him have this since I had the honor of being pregnant. Who are these people? And why does everyone defer to your husband this way? Your request is totally reasonable, and your husband's lack of understanding is pretty glaring. Not the asshole. OP replies, his mum, sisters, and our really close friends that I guess are technically more his friends than mine. I haven't brought it up to my friends because I'm just not comfortable having our friends weigh into our relationship the way that he is. I think his mum just likes his plan because it pulls her into the room, which I attempted to veto early on. I do love her so much, but I wanted this to be our experience. Not the asshole, but you both have visions of how your baby will be born, so you need to talk it out. Chances are the very last part of the birth that you're not going to be holding his hands. He's going to be with you in the delivery room either way, but this is something the two of you need to resolve. It's not enough to say, I want. Find a compromise. For example, if he holds your hand the entire time that you're in labor and only steps in as doctor for the few minutes of actual birth, wouldn't you both have a win? Focus on having a healthy baby and creating a happy family instead of on scenes that you've created in your imagination. And that applies to the both of you. OP replies, I don't see that as a compromise. That's exactly what he wants to have happen. But the entire birthing process is incredibly emotional and exhausting. I don't want him to step away from those moments because they are what I picture to be the most painful and exhausting. I want him to be with me until the baby is out and we can hold her. I don't want to be abandoned during the birth while he and the other doctors catch the baby and begin the baby's workup. He's going to deliver the baby and hold the baby, all while I won't be able to see anything because my legs will be in the air. I'll miss my husband holding and seeing my baby for the first time, and I'll feel completely by myself and like I'm missing out on those crucial first moments. Maybe you're not a woman, but nothing sounds worse to me than having my legs in the stirrups immediately post-birth with a sheet draped over my legs where I can't see my husband or baby meeting for the first time. I think you're overestimating what your attention span will be like in those moments. My mum let my dad catch both of their babies, and she told me that when she was doing those final pushes, she didn't care where my dad was. All she wanted was to get the baby out. She also said that it meant a lot to see the joy on my dad's face and having him hand her the baby instead of some random doctor or nurse, making the bonding process more special. I'm not telling you this to change your mind, I'm just giving you an idea of what that moment could be like. OP replies, I just don't see it playing out that way. If he's there to catch the baby, he's going to want to do some of the exams, and we are already having so much trouble getting the doctors to talk to me and keep me informed. It just feels like another link that I'll lose to the situation to actually be kept up to date and prioritized in the moment. I know that sounds really silly, but I've been sitting in my ultrasound appointments and prenatal appointments, and they are focused on the belly, but not on me. Pretty much everyone talks exclusively to my husband. It's been a huge challenge to feel like I'm a part of it, and not just coincidentally carrying the baby. Tell him that you've had to do everything by yourself your whole life already. This is not one of the things that you can do by yourself, and you want him there when it comes out. It is crazy when that thing comes out of me. Just say them when they come out. You just want support once from start to finish. It's lonely always having to take yourself places, to teach yourself, entertain yourself, and so on. And it's exhausting. Especially growing up like that your whole childhood, knowing people can just up and leave. Maybe tell him that you're feeling so effing lonely that you just want him to be there. If he doesn't understand, you may as well do this by yourself again. Surely the nurse can tell him to stay with you, and now is not the right time, Mr. Doctor, sir. Oh, and it's out. Sorry, congratulations, your parents. OP replies, I'm going through so many comments, but I stopped and read yours 50 times, and it hit me really hard. This is it. This is why I feel the way I do. Thank you so much. Thank you. Genuinely can't imagine how isolating it feels to have to go through all of that. As someone that's been connected to that experience of the medical profession, I can understand where you're coming from in that, and I can understand the isolating feelings there. To me, it speaks volumes here that your husband hasn't made an effort in all of these consultations to put you first, and instead puts his career and his, I would say, ego, there are egos when it comes to people in the medical world, above you. I know better, I'm just doing my job, I'm in working doctor mode, automated robot, and all of a sudden, your wants and needs and your desires are separated from that professional life. It's amazing to me that he's so far along into this process as well, that you're married to him, you're having his kid, and he still cannot separate his work life from his home life. It's genuinely very concerning. I completely get where you're coming from with this, and you do deserve better here. You do need to advocate for yourself. Like we see with everyone that has to deal with something that's going wrong with them, even if it's in their head or not, when it comes to you and your body and your condition, whether it be physical or mental, you have to continually advocate for yourself. And when you feel like you're being shut down by doctors, you go to someone else, or you come back and say, knock knock, biatch, it's me again. You didn't take me seriously last time, I'm gonna keep coming back until you take me seriously. In this case, OP, I would be advocating for your relationship. This is definitely a situation where it's a 2 yes, 1 no, of course, but it's a bit more nuanced, and you need to have a come to God moment with this guy, that's for sure. Not the asshole, absolutely. And now, onto the updates. I'm going to confront him tonight when he gets home. He's already going to be upset because we both have restrictions on how much time we spend on social media sites, and I have significantly surpassed that today and yesterday. which he'll know as soon as he reviews the router logs. I'm hopeful I can catch him before that makes him too upset. Excuse me? He monitors the router logs? Why? What's going on? I did reach out to some of our mutual friends just to see what he's told them for why this is so important to him, only to learn that he never discussed this with them. Surprise, surprise. I think he made up what he's been saying that they said. They were really shocked to learn that we've been having this disagreement and were actually quite supportive of an expectant mother controlling her birth plan. I'm quite nervous about his reaction to this as well, and I'd like to get ahead of this. Wish me luck and cross your fingers for me. Second and final update. Hello all. I first want to say thank you. Thank you every single one of you who took the time to reply, send messages, check up on me, send me messages again, and share your stories. I've read so much more than I'll ever be able to respond to. Thank you. Those who took the time to share resources and volunteer your own time, you are angels in the flesh. Thank you. I'm so incredibly touched by this overwhelming outpour of love and support. Also, thank you to even the people who told me that I was selfish or crazy or any other derogative that you chose to use. I'm not sure what helped me more, the people posting such great questions about if I felt safe, comfortable, loved, or the people telling me that I was the terrible person. Something about attempting to reread my story as an outsider and seeing the comments where Redditors told me that I was in fact the problem broke something in me, and I finally saw through the haze. But hey, maybe try to be nicer to strangers on the internet? No. Kidding, I'm kidding. And consider your words more carefully. We're all people trying to get through life. So many of you are kind, caring, and loving individuals. Thank you for caring about some random on the internet. I don't even have words. I can't say a whole lot about these last few days. So much has happened that I'll be processing for years to come. All I can say is that I am safe, I am free. Read into that as you will. I guess someone doesn't have to worry about the router logs being read anymore. Let's go. My next steps are leaving this chapter of my life behind. I'm moving out of the city, and I'm going to start trying again somewhere new. Somewhere beautiful, where every time I look outside, it's hard to believe that it's real life. I've always felt drawn to the mountains with all of their beauty and might. I don't plan to ever log into this account, or even Reddit, ever again. I did the same thing at 16, and I'm hopeful those last few decades have set me up for more success than I had the first time chasing a new start. If you read my story and you relate to it in any way, or you too feel smothered, voiceless, and alone every single day locked in the house with someone who's supposed to love you, I just want you to know what I now know. That isn't normal. That isn't what life is supposed to be. There are people you can rely on, and strangers can be your best friend. The cost may be steep, but the cost to stay is so much more. Farm this post for all the comments and support available. I pass it on to you, and beg you to use what resources you can find. The sheer volume of personal messages I received from people in the same boat, people sharing support, people checking in to make sure I was okay, there's such a community here, and they will help you before you even realize that you need it. I'm not sure what's next, and that's terrifying, but also refreshing. I haven't had that in so many years. Thank you. In the comments, Benabik says that we have limits on social media and he reads the logs twist probably shouldn't have been surprising. I'm glad they're out. The second paragraph of the first post gave me my first hint of trouble. Throwaway Reddit because my sister-in-law follows me on Reddit and reports everything to my husband. Why would her sister-in-law be reporting if everything were okay? Same. The second I read that, my mindset changed about, oh, this is a husband with a certain view about how things will go, which is clashing with his wife, to, this sounds an awful lot like an abusive relationship, but I'll reserve judgment until I've completed the post. I wish I'd been wrong. It was an abusive relationship. If you add all the things, she had no friends, she wasn't even allowed to be online and make friends there, no family, completely cut off from the world, it paints a pretty bleak picture. He only wanted an incubator. All of the medical staff treated her like an incubator once they learned he was a doctor too. I can't even imagine. I'd feel like I lost my mind. And she was so beaten down, she didn't realize how alarming it all was until strangers on social media that she wasn't supposed to be on pointed it out. Thank goodness she got out. He was monitoring her time online and his sister was monitoring her online activity. Jesus. I hope she's safe and happy and healthy. I hope he never finds her or the kid. This is one where I hope there aren't any updates, because that will mean that she is safe somewhere. Or if there is an update, it'll be that the divorce went through and he doesn't have any visitation with the kid. If there is a kid. She doesn't mention it in the update at all, just says that she's free rather than her baby and her. I hope that was just a slip and she just didn't want to bring the kid up. Read into that however you'd like to read into that. That's why OP left that intentionally vague. I'm glad that OP is free and is out of there and recognized that, oh shit, this is an incredibly abusive relationship. Thank you for sharing that with us, OP. I very much appreciate you for being a voice for others in similar situations like this. And hopefully if anyone is in a situation like this or knows someone that's in a similar situation, they can recognize similar patterns and be like, oh shit, maybe I can help do something about that. There are many ways that story could have gone, and I'm very glad that OP is free and out of there. But yeah, I'm sure OP has mixed many of the details up so that the sister-in-law doesn't get a grasp on the fact that this story is her sister-in-law and not someone else that is random. I even admit that I didn't pick up on the abusiveness of the sister-in-law part. That was very weird by me. I'm usually perfect. Sorry about that, guys. Kidding. Our next post is by user Matter187, titled, Am I the asshole by not inviting a slow eater to dinner night out? So me, 35 male, and my wife, 37 female, are making plans to go to dinner with some family friends. My wife's originally from Turkey, and sometimes going out to dinner in her country and culture runs a bit long. However, it's usually because people socialize during dinner, not because people eat slow. When I asked who's joining us, she names off 3 couples. I'm changing their names to American for simplicity. Couple A, the Joneses, Couple B, the Davidsons, and Couple C, the Matisses, or Mattis. Now, Couple A and B, I don't have an issue with, and we get along great. Couple C, though, Kelly Mattis, is the slowest eater I have ever met. For some backstory, the first time we went out with the Mattis couple at a chain restaurant that's known for its pasta, she was slowly eating her salad. She ate each thing one at a time. When the main course was brought out, she wasn't even done with her salad. Then when everyone else had finished eating the main course, she wasn't even 1/4 into her meal. She's taking tiny little bites off of her meal. Meanwhile, she's engaging in the conversation at the table with smiles and laughter, but everyone else ate and finished at a normal pace. Our plates were getting taken away, and hers remained with most of her food remaining untouched. She even got offended when the check was brought out, and a server asked, "Can I box it up for you?" In which she replied, "I'm still eating." Almost 30 minutes later of us just sitting there, she only ate half her meal and said, "Oh, I'm full." You're full of shit is what you are, Kelly. Even at dinner parties, Kelly still eats painfully slow. It's painful to watch her take tiny little bites on kebabs, even though she's engaging in whatever conversation is going on at the table. Even when the coffee and dessert are brought out, she literally nibbles at her cake or fruits. So I told my wife no to Mattis couple. I explained why, and she kind of agreed with me, but explains, it's almost a cultural thing. People take their time with family and friends at the dinner table in Turkey. Yeah, and she obviously takes the piss, Miss Wife. There's a difference. However, I stood firm saying no because I didn't want the dinner to be dragged out longer than it had to be. My wife is kind of upset because she really likes Kelly's company and friendship. I asked if Kelly has a medical condition or a social condition where she has to eat slowly and take tiny bites. Her response was, "Not that I'm aware of." So I again say no to the Mattis couple. This is the first time I downright do not want someone to join us for dinner. I like Bob Mattis, but I can't stand his wife eating so effing slowly. Am I the asshole for not inviting this couple because the wife is a painfully slow eater? FYI, dinner was great and everyone ate at a normal pace with no complaints. In the comments, Squids and Brains says, "So when the check arrives, that's when you're just about to leave. This woman ate for half an hour longer, meaning she only kept you half an hour by eating slowly. You're prioritizing 30 minutes of inconvenience over your wife's close friend. I understand the irritation, but you're still being an asshole. A small one. You're the asshole." Edit. A lot of people seem to be assuming that I've never encountered this situation. I have. It can be annoying, but it's nowhere near as unbearable as folks are making it out to be. Unless OP has left out that they have somewhere scheduled to be after this, and this woman is causing them to miss it, I fail to see how this is so horrible of this woman. It's not long. Everyone is still talking. I think it's selfish for OP to entirely exclude a close friend of his wife before even considering a less nuclear option, such as just asking the woman beforehand if she would mind cutting her meal a little shorter once everyone is ready to leave. Westminster Abbey says, "I seriously doubt the waiters or waitresses bring out the check as soon as everyone else was done eating. They probably came by a few times, checked out the table, asked if anyone else needed anything, etc., before finally bringing out the check." From the description, it sounds like there was quite a while between everyone finishing and the waitress asking if Kelly wanted a box. She said she was still eating, and then they waited about half an hour for Kelly. So this was not just 30 minutes of inconvenience, probably at least an hour. If this was a table of 6 and she wastes just an hour of everyone else's time, she's wasted a total of at least 5 hours, probably more. I'm sure it could be argued that it isn't wasted time, but many people feel uncomfortable sitting at a restaurant table long after they've finished eating. I mean, she's wasted an hour of 5 people's time. That's such a weird way to word it. Not the asshole. It's really socially unaware of her to always do that when other people are finished, especially if she's getting upset at waiters over bringing the check. Some people really can't eat that quickly though, and it's also much healthier to eat slowly. So I see both sides because it's annoying to wait, but to be rushed is worse in my opinion. When you're the only person who has a problem and you always have the same problem, then the problem is you. Literally nobody else in their friend group has issues eating at a normal and relaxed pace. It's bad enough that the husband has had multiple people mention it to him. This isn't a lady being rushed to eat, it's a lady who flat out doesn't eat and then pulls a power move to force everyone to stay late because she didn't eat normally. You're the asshole. Damn dude, what's the rush? Is there something pressing after the dinner like a movie or something? It seems like a really silly thing to get so bent out of shape about. If you just want to shovel in the meal and get the hell out, I guess it makes sense not to invite them. But in my opinion, our culture, the US, as I'm assuming you're the same, has meals all wrong. I'm taking a stand on this one. All you're the asshole Andys for this story can get bent and eat my shorts. I'm gonna say it. Don't make me say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow. No, I'm kidding. I don't care that you're defending Kelly in this situation. OP is pissed off, and as you can tell from my commentary during the story, I'm pissed off for OP. You might be cool with having the patience of a saint in this situation, or the patience of someone that's more saintly than a saint, but I think it's incredibly rude to take that long to eat, and to eat like that. She's also had it mentioned to her to hurry up. Everyone else is sitting there awkwardly being like, is she done? What's going on? I'm gonna guess that they do have places to be. I'm gonna guess they want to be in bed, asleep, ready for the next day. They don't want this dragged out longer than it has to be. All well and good if you want to go to bed past 11 o'clock, past midnight. That's cool, but I want to be in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock. And if you're dragging out this dinner date with our community longer than it needs to be, and like, everyone's side-eyeing Kelly? Kelly's the problem, brother. Don't expect to be invited to social occasions when you keep muddying the waters of those social occasions and making things awkward. Is that not socializing 101? Not the arsehole OP. And now, on to the updates. Backstory. My wife has a slow and... sorry, I messed that up. A close and awesome friend, Kelly, who is an incredibly slow eater. When I mean slow, I mean slow. I first noticed this when we went out for pasta. We'd all finished our food, and she was only 1/4 done. When the check came, the waiter asked if she can box up her food, but Kelly said, "I'm still eating." That's another one against Kelly. Rude to waiters. Kelly, why can't you just say, sorry, I'm not done eating yet. I really appreciate that. You can box it up soon when I'm done. Not, I'm still eating. Screw you for doing your job, mate. This wasn't the first, nor was it the last time. I asked my wife if she has a medical condition that forces her to eat slow, and she said no. I then asked her husband Bob through text, and again, he said no. Bob mentioned that when they go out to eat with others, Kelly is too focused on people and the conversation that she doesn't eat. So at home when they eat, he absolutely does not talk to her or even look at her, which forces Kelly to eat at a normal or regular pace. Dysfunctional relationship. Bob, that's crazy to me, Bob. That's wild. But I guess that's a compromise. Good on you, Bob. So then my wife started asking around her friends if they've noticed Kelly eating slowly. To our surprise, the response was no, at least not until that point. My wife makes plans for a group of 7 of us to go out for dinner, but told me to choose the place. It's mostly other women involved, and I asked if Kelly and husband were coming, and she confirmed that they were. So our party will be me, my wife, Kelly, Bob, and 3 other lady friends for dinner. I picked an all-you-can-eat, but you-cook-your-own food Korean barbecue place. The catch, you only have a 2-hour time limit. That's great. I thought this would likely force Kelly to eat at a normal pace, but nope. We were seated at 7:45, and at the 2-hour mark, the waiters shut off our burners and brought the check. Kelly still had her first and second serving on her plate. She told the waiter, I'm still eating. They kindly explained that we had hit our 2-hour limit and that they needed the table. Kelly is obviously upset but can't do anything about it. After we pay, we're outside the restaurant and the ladies are making plans to get coffee or something. And then it happens. Kelly says, can we go somewhere where they serve food? I'm actually still hungry. And my wife says, did you not eat enough in there? Well, no, I didn't get a chance to finish since our time was up. Bob says, seriously? We had 2 hours. What were you doing in those 2 hours? And Kelly says, it wasn't 2 hours. You're being unreasonable again. Friend 1 says, no, it literally was 2 hours. The waiter told us we had 2 hours at the beginning and they kept a timer. Did you not notice all the food we were cooking? Kelly's like, it couldn't have been 2 hours. There's no way. Their timer must have been off, and I saw the food, and it smelled really, really good. And Bob says, then why didn't you eat it? Between me and OP, we alone had 9 servings between us. Kelly says, whatever. The point is, I'm hungry. Let's go somewhere they serve food. The ladies looked a bit annoyed, but agreed to go somewhere where they can have coffee and Kelly can eat. Bob and I decided not to join them. Bob had to work the next day, so he went, and I wanted to catch the last few night races, and I went home. At around 1:30 a.m., that's crazy. That's crazy, 1:30? My wife returned home and told me the events that happened. They went to a Middle Eastern lounge and restaurant, and the ladies offered coffee and desserts, and Kelly ordered a meal. At 12:30, the ladies were ready to call it a night, and again, Kelly hadn't eaten her entire meal. Now everyone began questioning Kelly and her eating habits. Being put on the spot and now overwhelmed, Kelly went outside to calm down. My wife followed her outside and tried to defuse the situation with Kelly, but she was very defensive. She tried to tell Kelly that it's not really a big deal, but people are now more aware and concerned of her eating habits since I, her husband, had pointed it out, and her husband Bob confirmed it. It didn't help, and Kelly called her husband and went off on him. My wife took Kelly home, but they didn't talk that much. I think the damage has been done. In the comments, Fabuki707 says, they started at 7:45, 2 hours later they ended their dinner at 9:45, and the ladies went to a lounge to have coffee and dessert. 12:30, and you still are not done eating? I know some slow eaters, but damn, woman. 2 hours at a Korean barbecue and you're somehow not yet full? Girl, what the hell are you doing? If you're a slow eater, you either pre-game or wait till you get home / by yourself and eat to fullness. Don't hold other people hostage to your stomach. 2 hours at a Korean barbecue, and the only reason I would be eating slowly is that I'm now 99% bulgogi, and the food is now having to be stored in my cheeks for later. That's great. I'm smuggling this amazing Wagyu beef home, and you can't stop me. At first, I thought it was just a normal, relatively slow eater. It is crazy. Then the third-party input started coming in. Waiters asking to box her food, staff asking her to leave, and then complaining that she hasn't eaten enough and requested to change the plans. The part where she claimed to exist in a different space-time continuum was my favorite. When I'm talking, time stops, okay? Yes, that is how it works. You are victimizing me and my timeline. What is she, Doctor Who? I stand corrected in my previous assertions here, and anyone that disagrees, you don't have to comment. You don't have to let me know. I know I'm right. I don't like Kelly and her little conniptions here. She is the devil incarnate when it comes to being in social occasions with her. She may be all fun and games to talk to, but she's going to be the reason that your body clock is all out of whack. Because 1 minute it's 7:45, she opens her mouth, and the next minute it's 1 in the morning. And what are you going to do? Talking about the situation and bringing it up is obviously too rude for Kelly to be able to understand and deal with in an emotionally relatively normal way. And this is something that her husband has just figured out ways around instead of addressing it firsthand. So much so that he leaves because he knows what's coming. Oh my god. Unless Kelly surrounds herself with people that are also enablers, she's not going to have much of a social life the further this goes on. But at the same time, the fact that no one noticed until OP and the husband pointed it out is also crazy. Do these people just live in an alternate reality themselves? I don't know about all that, Chief, but still not the asshole, okay, OP? Good job. And with that said, that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.